His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, distinguished heads of state and governments, Mr. Secretary General, Presidents of the General Assembly and ECOSOC, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first convey the greetings of President Erdogan. He wanted to join us today. However, he had to stay in Turkey to supervise the relief and reconstruction efforts following the terrible earthquakes. President Erdogan considers sustainable development of the least developed countries as a top priority. He has full confidence that this conference will be a milestone in developing a new global partnership, a partnership that will ensure that LDCs benefit from social, economic and environmental development, a cooperation that will ensure the global economic and financial system doesn't create further inequalities, a commitment that will secure that LDCs are not held back by decisions taken far beyond their borders. In this regard, we appreciate the remarkable efforts of both Qatar and United Nations. We wish to thank His Highness Sheikh Tamim and Secretary General Guterres for their leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, on February 6, 2 earthquakes shook southeastern Turkey. Our nation is in deep sorrow today. However, this sincere international solidarity warms our hearts and gives us strength. LDCs were among the first to offer support and solidarity during the darkest days. We recognize that extending this helping hand was, in some cases, a significant sacrifice in itself. Turkish nation will never forget it. Your solidarity after the earthquake showed once again that you are the most developed and generous in heart. A sincere thank you from your sisters and brothers in Turkey. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our gathering today in Doha takes place at a time when the international system is passing through swift transformations. Least developed countries are the most vulnerable in face of such developments. It is our collective responsibility to support the development and progress of vulnerable nations. Turkey, as a long-standing and reliable partner of LDCs, is doing its best and remains committed. You may all remember President Erdogan hosted the LDC4 conference in Istanbul in 2011, which drew a 10-year roadmap. Our efforts didn't end there. We held the comprehensive midterm review of the Istanbul program in 2016 in my hometown, Antalya. Turkey, along with Belgium, is the co-chair of the group of friends of the LDCs at the United Nations. The UN Technology Bank in Turkey is the only UN agency dedicated to the LDCs exclusively. Finally, Turkey is one of the top-ranking countries in development and humanitarian assistance and contributes to LDC's efforts in many fields, including capacity building. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we cannot leave the LDCs behind. We must act now without further delay. First, the food security. It's a shame that we are nowhere near ending hunger in the 21st century. The Istanbul Grain Initiative that we brokered with the United Nations helped every household around the world, especially in LDCs, by bringing down the global food prices. We are working hard for its smooth implementation and further extension. That is what we discussed with Secretary General Guterres last night. Second, we cannot tolerate two separate worlds with a digital and technological gap between them. In the last decade of action to achieve sustainable and inclusive recovery, there is no time to lose. Third, we must break the vicious cycles that make development further difficult. The global economic and financial system must be reformed. We must find ways to combat climate change, which affects LDCs most, although they did nothing to cause it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Doha Program of Action succeeds in the commitments of the Istanbul Program and offers prospects to build resilience. We invite all nations to embrace the program and scale up international efforts. Once again, our sincere thanks to the State of Qatar and the United Nations. Thank you very much.